It's LBI Region Report time, and Lori, here we are, show numero uno for the month of February, and we're feeling the chill.
Yeah,
We're feeling the
we
chill.
are. We're definitely. Listen, you grab something warm. Get those warm socks, warm boots on. We're in the midwinter at the Jersey Shore, and it's definitely going to be one for the books because it is chilly. But we have a lot of exciting things that is going to warm everybody up. And the first thing we have is coming up on February 4th. We're really excited to partner with our members, Saker ShopRite. We're going to be doing their grand opening at their newest location, and that is right at 733 Route 72. And people have been anticipating this expanded store for some time, and it will not disappoint. We're going to be there with the Saker family and their team, as well as local officials, starting at 7 a.m. for the ribbon cutting ceremony. We're going to be on hand with our signature fanfare, giant scissors, cutting the ribbon on this, very important new store location. As special incentives for the first 200 customers in line, they will receive a complimentary grocery gift bag filled with samples and coupons, and then throughout the day, attendees can enjoy in-store tastings and special promotions, and they're going to have food trucks set up just to keep the celebrations going. And of course, the generosity of the Saker team will also be during the day creating a check presentation for the Fulfill Food Bank that serves Monmouth and Ocean County. So very excited. So those that have been waiting, wait no longer. February 4th, 7 a.m. Come join us, cut that ribbon, and welcome the newest location, which is really very exciting. We always like to see new stores open up, and especially one that brings in so much attention and excitement.
And also, makes a new use of a vacant site.
Yeah.
Because then new life to the
repurposing that
right,
whole,
repurposing. Yeah.
That's perfect. And also happening on February 4th, it is a very busy day. But from 10 to 11 a.m., we're very proud to have partnered with our members, the Lighthouse International Film Festival. They are doing a Film Ready in Service event. So again, we've been promoting the fact that the film business is going to be paramount to our local industries. Businesses of all kinds can benefit. You can be listed in the directory. Of course, this is all part of the New Jersey Motion Picture and Television Commission production services. It's a key resource. It's used by film and television companies, location scouts, filmmakers, when they're sourcing vendors and services. So whether you're a hotel, a realtor, a caterer, restaurant, hair and makeup, craft services, bartenders, event planners, bed and breakfasts, florists, cleaning service, transportation providers, unique filming location, or even specialty services, stop by February 4th. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's at the Surf City Library. This is the Long Beach Island branch of the Ocean County Library at 2175 Central Avenue in Surf City. There is no fee to register to attend. It's only an hour from 10 to 11. You can RSVP by contacting Christine at liffinfo@gmail.com, or you could go to visitlbiregion.com and get the information about both these events if you want to, kick off February with a lot of great resources and great food. So definitely go right on to that. So excited about that. And also, we don't want to forget February 8th is the 22nd annual Super Plunge with St. Francis Center. And of course, you can get a team together. You can go by yourself. This is something that has been a fundraiser for 22 years. You can pre-register and pick up your packet and your T-shirt over at the Aquatic Center in Brant Beach, February 7th. But Sunday from 9 to 11, the plunge takes place at noon. You could bring your costume, a bathing suit. Make sure you bring blankets and robes. But you can register right at St. Francis Community Center at the front desk or online. It's $35. Students are $25. They will also be, getting donations from friends and families to sponsor your plunge. So just come down and support it. It's a great way to start the big game. It's a big day. So, get out there, get off the couch early so you can, go back and enjoy for the rest of the day. So go out and support St. Francis this weekend, February 8th. And of course, ribbon cutting February 4th, 7 a.m. at the Sacred Shop right at Manahawkin, and then our Film Ready in Service event February 4th. So a lot of stuff to roll into the month, but it's really important because this month is, it's also Heart Month, which of course you think February, Valentine's Day makes total sense, but health is paramount and knowing how to save lives are key. So our guest today is going to really kind of give us a nice overview. We have Kevin Wagner this morning from Paladin CPR. He's the owner, and we're so proud to have you as a chamber member, Kevin, and keeping our community safe and keeping all of our whether it's our staff or our neighbors or our nonprofits trained. So good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Billy. Good morning, Lori. Thank you for having me.
We're real excited.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Well, yeah, we're really glad to have you because we're going to learn all about you today. So really explain a little bit about, this is a fantastic mission that you're on training people how to save lives. So how did that start? What was some of those childhood experiences that kind of brought this all together for you?
Yeah, so I grew up at the time, I would consider it rural Manalapan. Now Manalapan's not rural at all. No. But I grew up on the side of Manalapan, out by Route 33, and it was all farms. And I was a middle child, so I got blamed for everything. That also kind of pushed me to be kind of like a people person, and I always had this desire in me to serve. And I guess it started with, I was a Boy Scout. And a lot of people, they don't have that experience anymore. But being a scout was cool for me because it opened me up to a lot of different worlds of service, right? And through being a Boy Scout, I started to be a lifeguard at the Quail Hill Scout Reservation in Manalapan. My mom actually ran the camp, which was really cool. Yeah, so I started as a lifeguard. And I guess you kind of got hooked on that adrenaline rush, right? Of kind of, saving lives. I remember, I was 14, 15 at the time. And then, we would jump in the pool and, we had a lake there and, I would do rescues and none of them resulted in CPR, thank goodness. But, it kind of opened up the door to emergency services and service for me. And then I was 16 and I started the first Explorer post at the Englishtown Fire Department.
Wow.
I was the first Explorer chief there, which was pretty cool. And I always had a desire to be a fireman forever. So at 18, I went to Monmouth County Fire Academy and was a full-blown fireman in the borough of Englishtown. And this is going back, in 1990, mid-90s now. And then I decided, I didn't really decide at the time, the volunteer first aid squad was having a little bit of difficulty getting members. So they would hit the fire department out to go help them. And I remember standing there as a fireman going, I really don't know what to do for these people. They're having a medical emergency. So that kind of pushed me to go to EMT school. And I went to EMT school and then I started to work as an EMT and volunteer as an EMT. I volunteered for the Englishtown Manalapan Volunteer First Aid Squad. And I worked for a company called Monarch. And
sure. We've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Monarch, they dissolved now, but in the 90s and the 2000s, they were the big show in town in Monmouth and Ocean County.
They were. Mm-hmm.
And I worked for them as an EMT and I worked in the township of Jackson as an EMT there. And then I also got a job for Wall Township Police EMS. I think it was the 6th person they ever hired. Wow. And that was really great. And then I worked as an EMT for a while and I would be on these emergency scenes and we'd have some really sick people. And then these guys called paramedics would show up and they would show up with their heart monitors and their drug boxes and all their cool equipment. And I'm like, man, I really want to do that. These guys make a world of difference. Mm-hmm. So I looked into it and I eventually ended up going to Ocean County College for their paramedic program when they had it. And I graduated top of my class in 2004, started on the road as a full-time paramedic for Monarch in 2004. Went to the rank of field training officer there. And then I also started working for Robert Wood Johnson in New Brunswick as a paramedic.
Mm.
And I worked there per diem and eventually transitioned to there full time. And then in about 2010, I got hired my full-time job now for the Township of Monroe, where I'm currently a EMS supervisor and special operations division team leader. And I still work per diem as a paramedic for HMH JFK EMS because Monarch dissolved right before COVID in 2020.
Mm.
And the area hospitals took back their medic units then. So when I work for HMH JFK EMS, I work in our community. I work at a Southern Ocean County hospital or Brick Hospital or the Point Pleasant Care Center. And the paramedic units are the advanced life support. And we go on the advanced calls that, chest pain, cardiac arrest, really bad car accidents, difficulty breathing, unconscious, things like that.
Yeah, that's a tremendous amount of stress, I'm sure. I mean, that's a very high pressure, daily job that you have.
Yeah, I've always thrived in that kind of environment, right? Where it's high pressure.
Thank God you do, because certainly that's you're a special person that can do that, and we're grateful, that we have you and your colleagues that are able to help when help is needed.
Yeah, so through all those years, it's about 30 years now that I've been involved in emergency services, and working and seeing people suffering all these medical emergencies, specifically cardiac arrest. And there was just a lot of people who were going into cardiac arrest who weren't getting CPR.
Yeah.
Whether somebody didn't know how to do it, or there was nobody there to do it, or people were scared to do it. There's always this subset, of our population that could have benefited from somebody helping them. And I noticed this problem, and I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. That never crossed my mind in my life. And I was just, I was sitting there at work, and I was like, there's something that we could do, just as people, to train, so people can learn CPR and be able to help each other, whether it's their son, their daughter, their father, their mother, their friend, their neighbor, And I said, I would think about it. Some of the best business owners that I know are people that are trying to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's definitely a need for that. And, again, when you're talking about businesses and entrepreneurship, when you're dealing with people, if you have customers, or if you're nonprofit, or if you're, have an open space, you do need to know how to help. So what type of services does Paladin CPR training provide?
Yeah, so I provide all AHA training. So that's the American Heart Association, which is the gold standard in CPR training. So I have various different levels of classes that I offer. The gold standard, which is called basic life support, which is what most healthcare providers need to have. So doctors, nurses, paramedics, EMTs, police officers, anybody who's a direct frontline healthcare worker usually needs to have the basic life support training. And it's the gold standard. It's backed by science, and they update it every 5 years. They come out with new guidelines. It's a great class. It's one of my favorite to teach. It's about 4 hours long. I also do the next level down, which is their Heart Saver program, and I do a Heart Saver CPR and AED class, and I do a Heart Saver First Aid CPR and AED class. So the Heart Saver CPR and AED class covers all your adult, child, and infant CPR, relief of choking, AED usage, and it covers a little bit less advanced techniques than the BLS class. But this class is designed for people who need a CPR certification for work, people who work in childcare or an industrial setting that are required to have CPR. And then there's also the Heart Saver First Aid CPR and AED, which combines that CPR and AED that we just discussed with the first aid component. It's a pretty long class, but it's pretty thorough too. It covers pretty much every medical and traumatic emergency that you could think of, and it provides some in-depth skills and knowledge for this class. It goes over bleeding control, which if you don't stop bleeding, you're going to have a life-threatening emergency.
Oh yeah.
With tourniquet use and wound packing, all the way to seizures, chest pain, stroke, environmental emergencies, heat-related emergencies, cold-related emergencies, drowning. pretty much any kind of first aid emergency you could think of. It's a pretty in-depth course. And then there's the Friends and Family CPR, which is a general knowledge course that doesn't provide a certification. The BLS is a 2-year certification, and all the Heart Saver courses are 2-year certifications. And the Friends and Family course, by far, I think is one of the greatest values, because you learn everything that you're going to need to know to save someone's life. You learn, adult CPR and AED use, relief of choking, child CPR, AED use, relief of choking, and infant CPR,
And I'm very excited because I believe that's the event that we're going to be having later on this month as well.
Yeah, we're going to be doing an event for the Southern Ocean County Chamber of Commerce coming up the middle of this month. I'm super excited about it. It's called Revive and Thrive. It's going to be February 19th at Manahawkin Brewing, which is pretty cool. So we're going to have a AHA Friends and Family class where I'll teach everybody the life-saving CPR, and then afterwards we're going to have a little social networking event with our friends at the Chamber and Manahawkin. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, very excited about that. I mean, only because when you're saying all these different courses that you offer, we live in an area where there's a lot of 55 plus communities with clubhouses, and they hold events, and they have nights out, and even trips. And for those that might be listening, this type of thing is something that might be perfect for you to add to your calendar as you're planning out your year, just so that you can train your neighbors, train the people that are living in your neighborhood with you, because how better off is everybody to know that this is now available and that they can learn how to hopefully come to aid when the unthinkable happens, right?
Yeah, I offer corporate CPR training. I offer CPR training for community groups, church groups, senior groups. I travel. I have a wonderful classroom right in Lacey, right on Lacey Road. I partnered with Beacon Pediatric Therapy. Sarah, she's great. That's a great company. And I have a wonderful classroom there where I held classes on Saturdays in the classroom. But during the week, I travel, and senior developments is definitely, on the list. AEDs are everywhere nowadays, right? Senior developments, golf courses, boardwalks, schools, you name it. Everybody
there camps everywhere, because you don't know. I mean, you definitely need to have the resources to try to save somebody.
Yeah, listen. Everybody should learn CPR, right? It's an essential skill that everybody should learn, but hopefully never have to use, right? So some statistics here: only 18% of the U.S. population is certified in CPR.
Wow!
Right, so that's 82% that doesn't hold a certification.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they don't know CPR, right? I think that somewhere about 50% of people have taken a CPR class sometime in their life, but if we can drive those numbers higher, that's amazing. Think about it. 90% of cardiac arrests happen at home, right? In our homes. So there's, a lot of us don't work in healthcare, but if we know what we're doing, we can start, life-saving procedures.
The panic, you're going to hopefully know the training will come in before the panic sets in. And
listen, taking a class and learning with an instructor is invaluable, right? I try to have every class that I run be engaging and fun at the same time. I always impart, my wisdom of my years of service in the field. I've been involved in hundreds of pre-hospital cardiac arrests, and the knowledge that I give my students and the training, it's hopefully, it's just reactory at the time of crisis, right? You want muscle memory. You want to be able to just do it because you don't really want to have to think about it. And the only way to do that is to train.
Yeah.
So, taking a class with Paladin just gives you that knowledge and hopefully the confidence and feeling comfortable in responding to an emergency.
And that's the key, having confidence to know how to respond.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, you had said that statistic about the 82%. I mean, that there's a lot of room to grow.
100%.
To learn these things, to learn these basic skills. So, I mean, that's one of my goals. So I know for you and your company, I'm sure you have goals for CPR in the community. So what are some of those for 2026 as we're just starting out the year?
Yeah, so one of my major goals this year is to bring CPR into the community, right? because that's where it's going to make the most difference. So the more people that we can get trained, the better it is. Because if you think about it, every minute without CPR decreases your chance of survival by 10%. The national average for an ambulance in cardiac arrest is 9.1 minutes. That's not considering New Jersey in the summertime, right? With the traffic, forget about it. As paramedics, sometimes it takes us a real long time to get the calls because of traffic and the distance we have to travel. So if you know what you're doing, if you're trained, if you learned, CPR, and God forbid, something happens to your child, to your mom, to your neighbor, to your friend, you can act immediately. And if you can get on somebody, if you can start CPR and get an AED on, you can double and triple their chance of survival. Versus if you waited for the ambulance to get there, 9 minutes, let's do the math here. That's a 10% chance of survival.
Oh my goodness.
On the national average. So getting CPR into the community, getting as many people trained as possible, that's the goal. If we can just help each other, we can drastically improve these statistics. And, like I said, having worked in the community here for decades, I see that there's a need. And the more people we can get trained, the better. And whether you could come to the class in Lacey or through events that I run, or, I can come to your business, whatever the most convenient way is. The more people we get trained, the better off, you are as a family, as a business owner, and as a person. So
yeah, that's for sure.
That's definitely my top goal for 2026 is to get CPR more down to the community level.
Well, I think this is certainly, and we'll make sure we allow everybody to have a chance to know how they can get in touch with you, other than through visit LBIRegion.com. But the name Paladin. So can you explain that a little bit? It sounds, I like. It sounds, I don't want to.
Not a conventional name.
It's
right?
not a conventional name. I'm going to say it sounds like. Is it Roman? Is there?
It actually falls back to when I was a kid. I kind of liked medieval stuff and Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
And Paladin is the Great White Knight, right? So
there we go.
It's
you like that, Billy? Now Billy's not, and he likes a little mythology in his day.
Yeah, I mean nowadays, right? For a Game of Thrones, it's the Kingsguard, right?
Yeah.
So it's a Great White Knight. It's a guy who dedicates his life of service in others to do good.
I love
right.
it.
So that's how Paladin came about. The name, and again, it's one way that I can continue to serve, fellow human beings. Because when you think about it, we're the only species that can do CPR, right?
Yeah.
No other species on this planet can do this for each other. So it's an amazing thing, and it's an easy skill to learn. And then once you have that confidence behind you, you can easily react in an emergency situation and really truly make a difference in someone's life. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's about being able to learn the skills to save a life.
So I just want to discuss a little bit more about our event on Thursday, February 19th. This is at Manafurkin, which is a fantastic local brewery. So Revive and Thrive, it features, of course, the as you were talking about, the American Heart Association Family and Friends CPR class. It's designed for anyone who wants to learn life-saving skills without getting that, that needed certification course. This is just for hands-on, new parents, grandparents, team members, volunteers, babysitters. It's just a great way, again, put a call out to nonprofits if you're used to hosting events or doing something, or you have a clubhouse where you live or work. This is something to get your team together. You can come out, and it's a great opportunity to not only get the training, but after the session, attendees can enjoy Manafurkin Brewery's craft selections. And of course, their tap room is a great place to hang out, get to know each other, and really find out more about what Paladin is up to and what the chamber is doing. So you can RSVP to that right online at visitlbiregion.com. But we certainly want people to take advantage of that because it's a great way to get started, a great way to get familiar. If you like the class, again, you can then, talk to Kevin and maybe bring it back to your work or your, where you live, your community. Because we do want to get that Revive and Thrive. All are welcome. And again, this is National Heart Month, so a great way to add it to your calendar for something that's going to be important. It's at 12:30 to 3 p.m., so it's in the afternoon. It's $20 a person, so real easy to get involved with it. And you'll leave with a lot of knowledge and a few more contacts, which is perfect. So how can they get in touch with you directly?
So the best way, we have our website, www.paladincpr.com. You can also email us at paladincpr@gmail.com, or you can give us a call, 732-800-6258. I'm in the chamber directory. I'm always available via email. And, we look forward to meeting and training everybody in the chamber. Again, you never know when emergencies are going to strike. And, fostering an environment of safety and being aware that that you're trained and your employees are trained and your family's trained, it's priceless, and it's a weight off your shoulders.
It is.
Because when emergencies happen, you don't want to be the one on the phone telling the 911 operator that you're refusing CPR because you don't know what you're doing. It's a scary moment, and then you could really make a difference in someone's life just by doing simple things before emergency responders get there. So,
well, thank you for sharing everything. We're really excited about February 19th, and of course, just seeing and following you on social, what you're doing, and all the training that you're bringing to Southern Ocean County and beyond is key to to our community staying healthy and wise. So thank you, and have a great week and a great February.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. We're on social media too. We're on Instagram.
Well, I follow you, so I know you're everywhere.
Instagram, at Paladin CPR, Facebook. I think we're on YouTube now too.
There you go.
So
you got to get it. You got to get them where they are.
And I look forward to seeing everybody on the 19th at Revive and Thrive.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, Billy.
Thank you. Thank you. So important. And what better way to start National Heart Month than to talk about what's needed to keep everybody safe and alive. So excited about that. Reach out to Kevin, reach out to his company, start getting things on the books for, if not for Heart Month, for the rest of the year. Because I think, we're in an area where people move in fairly often, having those trainings, having, the conversation. A lot of times they call people call the chamber, they're looking for, medical assistance. Where can you get this? It's right here, so that he'll come to you. So speaking of hearts, I know we're a little early for Valentine's Day, but
never too early to start planning.
Never too early to start planning, but a sweet memory of February 8th. I know we had talked about that being Super Bowl Sunday, but it's also they're doing a wedding cake tasting open house. So for those that are thinking about getting engaged for Valentine's Day, or maybe you're already engaged and you're planning your wedding, she has a fantastic location right in Waretown, right off of Route 9. You can find all the information out online. You can go to A Sweet Memory Bake Shop, or you could go to visit LBIRegion.com. It's a complimentary wedding cake tasting open house. You stop in 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can meet the wedding cake designers. You can taste an array of cakes and fillings and icings, and there's no obligation. It's stress-free. And if you're interested, you can RSVP 609-242-0153. Again, all the information is on the Chamber website. To receive a complimentary tasting kit to go, so you can bring it back with you and taste it at your leisure, which is great. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of things coming in for February, but of course we want to kick it off with a lot of things right off the bat. RSVP, of course, to our February 4th Film Ready in-service. We'll see you February 4th, 7 a.m. at the ribbon cutting at the Route 72 Manahawkin Saker ShopRite, and RSVP to the February 19th really fantastic Friends and Family Revive and Thrive CPR event with Paladin, with Kevin and Paladin CPR. So lots going on, and thank you for starting your month with us.